back, watch the film, see what you could have done, and I'm just curious. After doing that, what do you think? To what extent can you sort of affect more passes thrown your way by what you can do?
Yeah, I think it kind of comes down to the same mentality that I've always kind of had, and a lot of these guys in this locker room have, of just going back to work, trying to prove it every single day in practice, and just prepare and just let it fly, and kind of be okay with the results. Try to really truly be process driven. It's a lot easier said than done, but truly just try to embody that. Try to kind of just keep my focus on the process, kind of let everything else kind of play itself out. But there's definitely things on tape that, every time you watch a game, you kind of look back and there's plays that you kind of cringe at that you could have done a little bit better. And then there's plays that you feel really good about. But, that was the case on Monday night, like it is every game.
What was the balancing act of plays that you cringed and then ones where you're like, oh shoot, I was wide open and Kirk just didn't throw me the ball?
Yeah, it's a crazy game because there's times where you might get wide open, but you might not be part of the read. So that's what a lot of times, maybe the outside world might not really understand because whether you look at the all 22, what have you, you might see a guy open, but if they're not part of the read, the quarterback's he's not taught to throw it to that guy. So it is what it is, but that's just how this game works. It kind of comes in ebbs and flows, and you're going to have games where you get a ton of targets. You're going to have games where you don't get a lot of targets, and there's so many factors that lead into it. So again, it just try to really be focused on that process and what I can control, and just let everything else kind of play itself out.
Kevin talked earlier in the week kind of about this is when the culture stuff really gets put to the test after a loss. What's he been like this week with you guys going through a loss for the first time?
Yeah, I look back to even kind of just talking to you guys in the spring, talking to you guys during training camp, talking about how we felt like as a team that we were more prepared to handle adversity than ever before. And I said that because of the leadership we have in the organization, in this locker room. You're gonna have losses in this league. It just is what it is. You're gonna have losses, and so it's what kind of culture, what kind of people in the leadership positions are going to kind of step up and be able to handle some tough times and some good times. How do you handle success? So Coach talked a lot about that. I think everybody's been extremely positive, whether it's been through the film process or kind of moving on to this week, and that's exciting. Obviously, we got to go out there and play really well this week, but it's exciting to have a culture that we have to be able to handle some of that.
When you say more prepared to handle adversity, refresh my memory. Why do you feel like that is? That it's better now than it's been before that way?
Yeah, just again, leadership in some key spots. Being able to have a positive culture. When you walk in this building, there was nobody hanging their heads. There was nobody MFing. It was just everybody kind of ready just to talk about the game, to figure out what we could do better individually as an offense, as a defense, as special teams, to help this team win, and then turn the script, flip the page, and move on.
Adam, what do you remember about the last time you guys played the Vikings? The last time the Vikings played the Lions, you hurt your ankle. It was that devastating defeat. What do you kind of remember about that?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I feel like every time we play them, especially on the offensive side of the ball, it feels like they're a really good defense. I just feel like every time that we've played them, especially in recent years, it feels like they're extremely physical. They're in our face. There's no easy catches. And that usually constitutes to a good defense and a team that's right on the edge of being a winning football team. So, that's what I'd have to say about them is I've seen it over the last couple of years of them being right there just because of the way that they play football. You can tell that they're really well coached, that they're coached to play hard, and they have a lot of talent. They've had a lot of really good draft picks and guys that are coming in and ready to show what they can do. Yeah, obviously it'd be good to see him. Got a lot of respect for him and was a great teammate. But yeah, he looks like himself again. You can tell that he feels good and is playing at a high level, and they have a lot of faith and trust in him, doing a lot of different things. So we'll be good to see him.
There was a clip in a video the Vikings posted of you, I think, talking to Irv on the sidelines on Monday night, about communication. How important is that to like recognize little things during a game and then communicate and make those kind of slight adjustments?
Yeah, for sure. I think communication is huge. Whether it's on something that was done really well or something that was done poorly, communicating that not only throughout the game but post game, in the meeting rooms, things like that. So, we're gonna have to even be probably better at some of those things to be able to handle some adversity. I think when times get tough, you tend to kind of go into your shell and say, okay, I got to just focus on myself and I got to, be ready to play instead of maybe you don't communicate as much when you're in some maybe a little adversity. So just trying to be a little bit better about that, and you learn from that throughout games.
Adam, you've talked so much about special teams over your career. Like, just what do you think when you see Patrick Peterson still putting such an emphasis on special teams and then blocking that field goal?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been not only a good defensive back his whole career, but also been awesome on special teams in a lot of different areas. But yeah, obviously huge for that play. Could have been a game-changing play for us. And special teams, it's been really fun to see those guys play because coaches actually emphasize a lot how well that they've been playing in that phase and really played well enough in that phase on Monday night to help us win a football game. So that's encouraging. And we have to feed off that. We got to play complete complementary football. When we get a turnover off special teams, we got to go score. When we get a good field position off a return, like we have to go and score. So just talking about or doing the things that we always talk about, playing complementary football. All righty. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.